70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation. By the third, 90% vanishes. Consider this bizarre paradox. A lottery winner often goes bankrupt in 36 months, yet the descendants of 19th century oil barons quietly buy up Manhattan real estate. Most people assume generational wealth is a math problem. They worship compound interest and massive real estate portfolios. But flawless math instantly self-destructs if the human mind executing it is flawed. Acquiring money and preserving it are entirely different games. Study centuries-old dynasties, and you will realize they survive by following an unspoken rulebook that directly contradicts typical success metrics. Surviving the mathematical certainty of ruin requires a highly guarded, counterintuitive psychological profile that inverts how humans naturally perceive time, status, and risk. Average human biology is evolutionarily wired to consume resources immediately to survive. That primal instinct is why the average person plans for the next paycheck. A successful professional stretches that timeline to retirement. But the old money mindset operates on a timeline that actively defies human biology. They practice hyper-delayed gratification, pouring blood and sweat into building an empire they will never live to enjoy. Charlie Munger revealed a core truth of this condition. The biggest financial gains do not come from buying or selling. The real money is in waiting. When Warren Buffett evaluates a business, he asks one primary question: will this hold a monopoly in 50 years? Century-old families actively train their minds to fight their own survival instincts. This infinite patience requires a complete ego death, sacrificing the comfort of today to buy absolute leverage tomorrow. Walk through an exclusive country club's parking lot, and you'll notice something unsettling. You won't see fleets of Lamborghinis. You'll see dusty, 10-year-old Volvos and dented Land Cruisers. New money uses wealth to scream. Escaping obscurity creates a subconscious need for external validation, driving the newly rich to buy depreciating luxury assets to prove they have survived. Old money uses wealth to whisper. Dynasties view every dollar spent impressing strangers as a dollar stolen from their bloodline's future power. The ruling class uses money as an impenetrable wall built specifically to keep the external world out. Take the Rockefellers. In their 7th generation, they have over 200 descendants. Statistically, this fortune should have been obliterated a century ago by a rebellious teenager, a bad investment, or inter-family lawsuits. They survived by systematically shifting their core identity. From birth, heirs are raised to view themselves as temporary guardians of a collective treasury, never as individual owners. This shifts the psychology of risk from reckless optimism to clinical pessimism, creating a condition called productive paranoia. They hunt exclusively for asymmetric bets, where the downside is absolute zero. While the middle class is driven by the fear of missing out, the ultra-wealthy are driven entirely by the fear of permanent absence. They will gladly underperform a booming stock market to eliminate the risk of total loss. This clinical, pessimistic preservation creates a suffocating psychological weight. It is a toxic paradox that crushes the impulse to spend, but routinely destroys the families who fail to adopt it. How do you teach a child the brutal value of a dollar when they know they will never actually have to work for one? This single question destroys empires. Self-made millionaires often make a fatal error. By trying to give their children the life they never had, they remove the exact adversity that forged the fortune and developed their character. Generational dynasties counter this by engineering artificial adversity. Heirs are forced to fly economy, work manual labor, and start businesses with zero funding before they are granted access to a trust fund. The most vital inheritance passes through the dinner table, in how a parent reacts to a loss or treats a waiter. Generational wealth is a behavioral operating system. If this psychological coding fails and the engineered struggle is removed, the money's evaporation becomes mathematical certainty. Generational wealth requires a ruthless, exhausting mastery of human impulse, long before it becomes a measurable financial reality. Society sells the idea that the ultimate goal of making money is to finally reach a point where you can stop worrying. But the families who hold their fortunes for centuries know the anxiety never actually stops. It merely shifts from worrying about personal survival to agonizing over the survival of the legacy. An ancient proverb says, "A society grows great when old men plant trees to provide shade they themselves will never sit in." Generational wealth demands the lifelong psychological burden of being the one who bleeds to plant the tree.